Happy New Year. 2020 is now upon us officially. I'm the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Welcome to the first episode of the new year here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Our social media handles for Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter are all at The Mike Prince Show. The YouTube channel is Open Mic Broadcast Network. Our website, obnradio.com, and our 24-hour dial-in message line, 713-570-6736. And without any further delay, we're going to jump right into today's episode. Well, of course, you know that we are in the middle of a subscription drive on our Open Mic Broadcast channel for YouTube. We would truly appreciate if you and a friend or two will become a subscriber today to help us reach that 1,000 minimum requirement to produce live events on the YouTube channel. Continuing on with our breakdown of the future of the Southwestern Athletic Conference and its television deal that's being in negotiations right now. This is a breakdown of the interview with Charles Edmond and Executive Director John Grant of ESPN from December 29, 2019, if you allow me to say last year. And so leading into this new decade, we are continually to break down some things and listen for some key words that are being said, whether consciously or subconsciously. I'll explain that in just a moment. We're going to now pick up some more excerpts from the Charles Edmond, John Grant interview.
All right, Mr. Grant, the nuts and bolts of what folks have been talking about on social media, and I'm sure you get the wind of this as well. The first thing right off the bat, obviously, no title sponsor. And I really, in years past, hadn't really paid attention to the fact that this was not the first time we didn't have a title sponsor. I know Air Force Reserve had been the title sponsor in years past. I know there was a bunch of small sponsors for this year's game, year's game that ended last week. Any concern, from fans' standpoint, there's a lot of talk out there, is maybe, taking a step back, maybe a reduction in the interest. Does that signal anything negative when you don't have a title sponsor, but you got a lot of small sponsors that were a part of the game this year?
None whatsoever. You got to keep in mind that the Celebration Bowl is owned by one of the largest companies in the world, which is the Walt Disney Company. The fact that we didn't specifically have a title sponsor this year because of budgeting and the lack of a budget, which Congress just recently passed one, but one was not at the time when, and so the Air Force Reserve, had to pull back this year because of funding. And it wasn't the only year, as you indicated. We've had a title sponsor 3 out of the 5, but this is our second year without it. But we have been pleased with the number of companies that have stepped up, the new ones that we added this year that came on board with us, and we're excited. And we're in conversations with several prospects for title sponsorship of the game. But not having a title sponsor in no way whatsoever threatens the Celebration Bowl.
Okay, we heard John Grant breaking things down as far as the lack of title sponsor. Let me explain exactly what a title sponsor is. A title sponsor is no more than the naming rights of that said bowl. So it could be the Mike Prince Celebration Bowl if Mike Prince had the resources to declare that. And what it does is give you a little leverage as possibly a logo on the uniforms, a logo on the field, and some events that would be sponsored as the titled sponsor. But mind you, Mr. Grant reassured that just because there was no title sponsor does not mean that this game was not worthy, nor did it not make any money. He even went on to say that if it really became that desperate, Disney could become the title sponsor. So that was not ever the case. Here's something that you guys really need to understand and break down about a football game. And we're going to stick on football. A football game is a very important game to the teams, of course, that are playing. It's very important to the institutions that they're representing. But the most important thing, if you're in the business of producing live games, is 32 minutes. 32 minutes, which equals the time that you have to sell for that particular ball game. And that can be broken down into 32 one-minute commercials or 64 30-second commercials. And we're just going to give you some average numbers. These are not concrete numbers. These are minimal numbers. Minimal numbers. And I want to stress that because they could easily go up depending on the viewership. And what is considered some good viewership if you can prove you have 1 million people that watch that game. And what was that magic number? 1.8 this year. The first year was 1.9. Last year was 2.3. So the steady average numbers are there, enough that ESPN would like to continue the negotiations to extend it beyond 2020. Now, these were all things that were made mention by Mr. John Grant. On average, a 30-second spot on a national platform is $15,000, $500 a second. That's the minimum average. So if you got 64 30-second spots on the average football game, that's $960,000 per game. That's low end. A title sponsor is gravy. A title sponsor would get all the shine plus whatever you sell in those 64 spots, or give or take a few spots less because your title sponsor would have some of those. So trust me, money is being made. That's a minimum. We've already established, ESPN has confirmed, the numbers are healthy enough to continue this partnership. So the money's there. The money is absolutely there. And if you paid attention again, the only reason there was not a title sponsor for this year is because of the red tape coming from Congress. Air Force Reserve had been the title sponsor. And because of the red tape that comes and goes dealing with the government, they were late getting the budget in. Is the only reason there was no title sponsor this year. Now, they are working on some other sponsorships, and there is a such thing where you could possibly have 2 title sponsors, but in most cases, that's not the case. Usually whoever is going to foot the brunt of the marketing gets that sole position of being a title sponsor. So the numbers are growing, the interest is growing, and the money is growing, which is an indication that so should our proceeds be growing. As always, we're going to keep chiming away, chipping away to stay on top of this particular topic. I had a question that was asked to me on one of the social media areas. They were asking, was John Grant actually in the room when it comes to negotiating everything or just select things? That I can't answer. We have reached out to Dr. Charles McClellan. We're trying to schedule that interview. I do understand that the holidays could be a reason that we've yet to hear from him, but I'm sure he'll come on and can answer that question for us. But nonetheless, I think the iron is definitely hot enough that we could make a strike for the SWAC. We'd love to hear your feedback and chime in on this particular subject. The 24-hour dial-in message line is 713-570-6736. Don't forget, you can join us live Sunday nights, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Mike Prince Show Live. And we'll break down the week that was, the week that's going to be, and we're even working it out where we're going to be possibly taking some of your live phone calls. So be sure to check us out 9 p.m. Central Standard Time right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And, of course, we have the Carlos Brown Show that comes to you Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. noon. And you get a chance to hear from the legendary talk show host himself. I am going to be preparing myself to exit stage left. My time is far spent in this new year of 2020. And I am going to fade into the sunset. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. As always, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.